All right. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Nut Up Show. How's it going?
It's good. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad at all. And if you're new to our show, this is basically a show where we talk about what the hell it is that we're doing to basically nut up and get shit done so we can live the life that we want to live. You know, just talking about all the things we're doing. And one of the central themes, I guess I would say, is really finding purpose in your life and basically how important it is. Mm-hmm. And I know for me, having a sense of purpose and direction is like the most important thing. And it's something that I have personally struggled with for, I don't know, a really long time. Really feeling that I just don't have a sense of purpose other than, you know, just like having a family and raising kids. And I think we'll get more into this quite heavily. But if you follow along with the stuff that we've done over the past few years, I have always roller coastered up and down with weight loss and fitness and health. And I think a big part of that has to do with the external factors of, you know, not being truly happy in the work that I'm doing and what's driving my day to day. And it just not having that sense of purpose or fulfillment.
Or just really the focus. It's not like you don't have something that you're working towards at your... I think those are almost two separate things, but you're absolutely right. It's having a focus and having a sense of, this is my purpose. This is what I'm striving towards. Yes. I have a set goal and I'm going to achieve it. And this provides me fulfillment and happiness and all that kind of stuff. That's focus is good. But then also, I mean, it's the same thing. It's like, what are you actually focusing on? What is the thing that your purpose? And for me, the longest time, it's like, well, you know, I don't have like this type of career that's like, oh, well, I'm working at this because I want to move in to become a partner at this firm or whatever it is. I just like, I just kind of design websites and do creative stuff and kind of get jobs here and there. And it's just like, I've been doing that for over a decade. Since I've graduated university. So 15, 20 years. And it's just lately, it's like, you know? Yeah. And especially like working, as much as I love working in the university environment, it's also like, it's always contract to contract. I was just going to say, it's just a contract and it's not like an actual like career path.
Or a permanent position within even a university where there is the ability to move around in different departments and what have you. And I just don't have, and I haven't had that sense of purpose. And I think what we're going to talk about today is, you and I have been talking a lot about what is our purpose? Where is it that we want to go as a family over the next, 1 year, 6 months, 1 year, and then even the next 5 years. I mean, it's hard to project out where it is that you want to go. Yeah. But where is it that we want to go? So we're going to talk about that. But maybe first, do you want to just go over, it's kind of at a good timing that you just listened to a podcast that was talking about this. So do you want to just
so it wasn't necessarily specific to purpose and talking about purpose, but it was the guy it was the Cleared Hot podcast again. Right. And he had this, I forget the guy's name, Micah something.
So just remind, Clear Hot, who hosts?
So Andy Stump hosts it and he's like
Cleared Hot.
Cleared Hot. Yeah. Yep. We'll link to it. Yeah. And this guy that he was interviewing was a former Navy SEAL, and he owns a bunch of land in Montana, and he's like a rancher, but then he also has this nonprofit called Horses for Heroes, where he takes these vets out, and they're out there for like 41 days, basically trying to find their purpose after they've been out of the military, right? Because I think you're putting your identity into, like, you're a Navy SEAL or whatever, special forces or whatever it is. And so when you get out, you don't have that anymore. So you have to kind of figure out what your purpose and what your drive is.
So they're saying that people that come out of the Army or Navy or whatever it happens to be, that they find themselves having a struggle with their identity.
I think so.
Like who they are.
Yeah, I think so. And so
you're right. I mean, a typical army or whatever career, it's pretty short. I mean, you're not in there for, I mean, some people are in there, you know, for a long time, but a lot of people, they just serve whatever and they get discharged.
Yeah. Yeah. Or they retire because of reasons.
And I think you can retire pretty early.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, even 20 years or whatever it is. And
I think you can retire after like 5 years.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I think so.
It just depends on
what you're doing.
Yeah.
But like he was basically talking about, it's about like knowing yourself and then just really taking that time to know, recognizing who you are, what your values are, what's important to you. And what else did he say? And then even like having a purpose and knowing what your purpose is, it allows you, whatever else is going on around you, it allows you to focus up and like overcome any of those external circumstances.
Right.
Because you have that drive and you know what you're working towards and you know who you are.
That's exactly what I was talking about in my struggles, is that I don't know where I'm going.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I'm just living day to day, and then something comes in to disrupt. A small little thing comes in and it throws almost everything into chaos.
Yeah.
You know? But it maybe everything already is in chaos, right? So
yeah.
Go ahead.
But I think it also feeds into like Simon Sinek's book, Know Your Why. And I think that's really important, because I think your why, I guess you could also define that as your purpose, knowing that, and then knowing any action that you take, how is it working towards your why or your purpose? And so your actions become focused when you have that purpose in mind.
Yeah. And it's funny because I think we did this experiment with the Know Your Why and trying to find out what your why is. And I had mine, but I don't think it was as well and clearly defined as it needed to be, or I should actually look this up as to what it actually was, but my steps I took to implement that why probably wasn't the right way to go about it, because I know part of what I want to do is somehow in some shape or form, I like connecting with people, and I want to be able to, help people in whatever way that I can.
Yeah.
Whether that was always like my dream of like having a music studio and helping, working with kids and like getting them involved in music and having a place for them to record or whatever, like things like that. Or, talking about like, if I could just somehow figure out how I could overcome back pain, I know so many people struggle with back pain. And I want to figure out how I could literally, if I could cure myself and get rid of it, and then just like show people how they can do that and like help people, because it's when you help someone, the feeling that you get back is just like
the best.
It's the best feeling in the world. And I have to do something around that.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like the more I go on like a day to day, or the past, like say 10 years of working, it's like everything that I do as a job does not fulfill that need. Yeah. And then it's just like, ugh, and it's like, what am I doing? What's going on here? Yeah. And I think that even in the past year, as we try to do certain various businesses or whatever it is, it's like, yes, maybe that's my why, but then I feel like I focus too much on the things that I guess I'm good at, which is like, well, I could design a website for that, or I can do that. And it's like, then I get like, why am I still just sitting around at a computer all the time? So it's trying to find that balance. And I have a really difficult time with it. I mean, that's why we're doing this whole Nut Up thing. It's like, we're literally talking about the journey of figuring this shit out. Because I certainly don't have all the answers, but I think we're moving in the right direction anyways.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because hopefully, like, showing how we're nutting up and our approach to life, to live our best life, I think that can help other people have the bravery to do it as well and take the chances that they need to take. So I think that fulfills that as well.
Yeah. And you're absolutely right. I mean, that's the big thing that we're doing this right now is, you know what, if I can help somebody by, you know what, I'm just putting myself out here, being open and honest about everything, that makes me feel good, right? Like this whole financial stuff that I'm doing this series, I'm not doing it because it's, you know, you could say it's almost even embarrassing. It's like, oh, look how much money we've lived how long, and you know, we've purposely made those decisions because we're like, well, we're going to be a one income family. Yeah. And so we could have made completely different decisions and we'd be 100%. Fine. But anyways, but the point is like, you put it out there, says, you know what, you can come back from places where, like, you know, you had tons of student loans or whatever, you know, you could pay it off. And if you can help people along, I don't know, it would just make me, I don't know, it'll have that fulfillment, I guess. So I mean, that's why we're doing that. Yeah. I'll say, like, one thing that I know that I want to strive for and that we want to work towards. When I was a kid, where I grew up was always around a lake, you know, McFarland Lake, back in Sudbury. And a lot of my time was spent just going outdoors and just screwing around in the forest or whatever around the lake and just kind of just doing my own thing. So I've always wanted to have like a house on a lake on my own property, just so I can just have my own thing. And I think in terms of, for me, having a goal, a part of a purpose, is that I want to be able to get a piece of land so that I can have to do the things that I want to do and raise the kids the way that I want to do. So, anyway, do you want to talk a little bit about that and talk about what our plan is? I mean, I guess it's a little bit different than finding a sense of purpose for what you want to do.
But it's still like a goal that we're working towards, right? Like, and so definitely owning a piece of land, and being able to like grow our own food and.
Right. Yeah. We should talk about the upcoming zombie apocalypse that we need to prepare for. So, so what we want to do is we want to buy a piece of land within, I don't know, as soon as we possibly can, hopefully within a year, so that we can either build a house on there or there's a shitty house that we can fix up or what have you, because we're really interested. I'm definitely really interested, and I think you are too, of just kind of learning how to be independent and not reliant on anyone, really. Like you said, learn how to grow our own food. That would be amazing. And create our own energy and power, and almost be like, I don't know, it sounds really cheesy, I guess, but being like these off the grid, self-sufficient family. And just like, you know, we don't have to, if anything does happen, you know, we're okay. Anyways, let's tie this back into what I started with at the beginning, talking about not having direction and not having focus, which leads me to have like a hard time focusing, like at work or what have you. This is something that we really want to do in our lives, and having that goal for me is like, okay, well, you know what we need to do? We need to be able to save up a certain amount of money or whatever. It's part of our other plan of becoming financially independent, so that we can buy some land and start to be self-sustaining or whatever. So that's a very concrete goal that we have literally just recently, the past couple of days, established for ourselves. And that is going to be the motivation for me to know why I'm doing, like, even if you're at a job that, you know, why am I doing this? It's like, well, this is why I'm doing it. I'm here to work. Just shut up, do your job, get the money that you need or whatever, so you can achieve this goal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Sorry, you were going to say something.
Well, I think it's something we've always talked about, this idea. Like
100%.
We've always batted around getting an acreage and our house, and I really want a lot of animals. Yeah. So.
And I do. I
want all the dogs.
I do as well. Yeah. Well, because I mean, you can't even have them in an apartment. But I like what you were saying about. I didn't listen to that podcast, but about this guy who has acreage and he just takes people out into the country and nature. I mean, do you remember when we had our trip a couple of years ago? And it's like just being out there and like that was almost a sense of purpose on its own, of just living life and being in the moment.
Well, I think the other piece of that is there's struggle and he talked a little bit about struggle and how important struggle is.
Yep.
And so I think that trip was not easy.
No. As short as it was.
Even just like the 10-day camping trip in Algonquin, there was so much struggle there. But I think that's why it was so meaningful, was because look what we accomplished, like, so that struggle piece is important, and it makes you feel confident as a person that you're able to do these things. And that's how you grow as a person, is struggle.
Yep.
And he had this...
That's a really good point.
He had this really amazing... he had actually just been out, I guess, on one of these trips. And he saw all these trees kind of in the mountain, and there's like no soil there. So they have to put their roots in, to the rock, and they're just kind of like hanging by a thread, right? You see sometimes trees on the side of mountains or whatever. And he's like, there's so much struggle there, like just to survive. And it's like, it's the same with us, right? But then you put those roots in, and there's so much roots in there to hold on to the side of the mountain, right. And you grow stronger as a person. But I think in society right now, our roots aren't very deep because there's no struggle. And he called it like death by easy, because everything is made so easy for us.
Yep.
And regardless of how you feel politically, like the government gives you so much. And so then you're not forced to do the actual struggle and do the actual work. And so this is where I think we're seeing there's no resilience, because you're not used to that struggle. And so if there's a little bit of wind, you topple right over.
Yep.
So having that struggle is, I think,
it's really
incredibly important.
Yeah. And it's interesting you mentioned that. I wonder if that's what draws me to that lifestyle so much, because I'm telling you, if we weren't married and we didn't have kids or whatever, and it was just me, I would literally buy a van and like
live down by the river.
some yeah, I would buy some land in some shitty property or whatever that I could just park it, and I would just figure it out.
Yeah.
And then you don't have, yeah, that's like that. And it's not easy. It's not glamorous at all, but like, it's like every day you wake up and it's like there's something to do, and there's that struggle to figure out, and I don't know, to learn and to learn about yourself.
Yeah. Well, and I think like that's the point. And like what he's saying is that, he also said, there's so much stuff, like people have so much stuff, and you're collecting stuff.
I hate stuff.
You don't need any of it. All you need is food, water, and shelter. And that's
your basics.
All you need. Right.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. It's a lot. It reminds me a lot of, that's kind of getting into minimalism.
Yeah,
and that talk
exactly.
of like, we're so bombarded with stuff and the need for stuff and to buy things, and the consumerism, it's all thrust upon us. And is it important? Yeah. I mean, we could talk this. We could talk about so many different things here about how society's structured. But I like what you were saying about just how things are just really easy for us. And I wonder if I think about myself, and again, like 5-10 years ago, back we're in Waterloo, where it's just like, what's going on? What are we doing? Or what am I doing anyways? Mm-hmm. Like work wasn't hard at all, and nothing was really that difficult, but yet, but why is there that sense of that? There was no sense of anything really of what we're going. Maybe that's different because we were just trying to survive with all kinds of different things with Tristan and dealing with special needs and all that. So I don't know if that's maybe an apt comparison, but I'm just trying to think on the moment here and try to put things together. But definitely for right now, this goal I think is really good, and it's really going to help drive things forward for us.
I think so. Yeah. Well, and I just want all my dogs. So
dogs.
My dogs. Yeah. The what else was I gonna say? Like the other thing too that I thought was interesting that he said was, you have all of these, because this feeds into NetUp and like trying to live not just a longer life, but a healthier, longer life. So that health span concept that we talked about a while ago. But you have so many of these like biohackers, right, that are trying to find all these ways to live a longer life and all this thing. And he's like, it's cool. Like, it's really cool to do this. But he's like, living a longer life is not a purpose.
Right.
Like, what do you want to do with that time that you have? People get caught up in like all of these different things that they're trying to do, this like red light therapy, and they're only going to eat this or make sure you have this supplement and all this stuff. But like, that's not a purpose. That's just extent. So I thought that was really interesting for me to hear, because I get caught up in all the science and all that stuff. And it's like, okay, that's not the purpose. Living a longer life is just living a longer life. What are you living for, basically?
That's you're talking now about quality of life.
Yeah.
And we can have this discussion for so long, because it brings about even what's going on now with, quarantining and lockdowns and what have you. It's like, well, what are we trying to do? Like, we're just trying to extend life, and like, is that the only thing, or is quality of life important, right? Like, is that healthy for us as a society to be like, okay, well, we're just going to live for not dying, basically, right?
Yes.
And then we're just like, okay, well, then we can't do anything. So what's the point? Is this living? Like,
it's there has to be a balance somewhere.
No, it's very interesting, because if you're, at least I speak for me, if there's no purpose or no point, like, I don't want to live to 100 years old and just be like, no, what are you doing? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's bad enough to have that feeling of going to work every day and like just really hating your job. And to be clear, I don't hate my job or anything like that. But I guess if I could say anything, I hate the idea of having to go to work and work on something that I don't find fulfilling. That's the big ticket for me. But there's a lot of people out there that literally hate their jobs, and that is a position that you just don't want to be in, and you have to work as hard as you can to get out of that situation.
Yep. Or like we've talked about this before, but it's like, you're working on a job that maybe you hate and you don't like, but the only reason to do it is to get money to be able to fulfill whatever the purpose that you actually have in your life, right? Yep. And so I think sometimes that's how you have to think about it.
Do a lot of people think that way, though?
I don't think so.
I feel like a lot of people, I hate my job or whatever, but there's no plan.
Yeah.
Right? There's no plan to get out of it. Because, obviously, you got to do what you got to do to pay the bills or whatever. Yeah. But then it's like, what lifestyle do you want, right?
Yeah.
If you hate your job and you want to do something else, then you got to put a plan in place to like, okay, well, then how do I get to that goal, right? So, okay, I have to work here for a year, but I need to save this amount of money so I could learn this new skill or whatever. I want to buy this place. So then I could do whatever I want to do. You gotta
have a plan.
Then have a plan. Like, don't spend money. Stop drinking.
I was just
buying the stuff that you don't need.
So that's what I was just going to say. So then I think that's also when you have to make choices. And if you are working in a job that you hate, but you're living this lifestyle with a big house and 2 cars and all kinds of stuff, and you're working to pay for that, but you hate the job. Well, is it worth it? Should you downsize? Can you downsize and find a job that is fulfilling, or something that's fulfilling, and you don't have all these things? Because that's what we did. Like, we went for a long time without a car. And it's like, it was okay because we were fulfilling our values of me being at home with the kids. So I think that's all about.
And biking everywhere.
Oh God. So I think that's all about the choices that you make, right? Like, what are you willing to compromise on? What are you willing to go without?
100%.
Yeah.
So I have some questions for you.
Okay.
So we're talking about wanting to get a piece of land and whatever. So we're talking about values. So I guess the question is what is the, like I said, for me, I'm fine. I'll just get a piece of land. I'll just live in a van and whatever, right? So we have to have the discussions on what quality of life that we're willing to sacrifice or a certain standard that we want to actually live on when we do have this piece of land. So what does that look like? What does that look like to you?
For me.
Do you know what I mean? Because like if we buy a piece of land that has like no house, right? So we had some ideas, right? Like maybe we buy something and then we have a trailer and we live in the trailer for a little bit and then we build a house, you know? Are we willing to live in a trailer?
Are we willing? I think you mean, are you willing?
Well, by we, I mean you. And the kids too, you know?
Well, yeah. Obviously there needs to be electricity and running water or I'm out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So,
and there has to be a time limit, right? Like there has to be an end point to that because that's not a quality of life I'm willing to
sustain.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess what it's going to come down to is we're really going to need to plan things.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I could tell you, oh yeah, it's 6 months. That means nothing. You know, where did I get that number from?
Well, not even like 6 months, but like even just saying, okay, we're living in this trailer, we're building this house. There's going to be a point where we move into the house, right? Like,
of course, yeah.
And of course, like
that would be the plan.
No, and of course, like with the understanding, obviously, shit happens and deadlines get pushed. Like
whatever.
Yeah.
A pandemic happens to hit, and there's a lumber goes through the roof of the place. Whatever.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, like obviously. So we're gonna put together plans in place, but yeah, we'll need to make sure that because you're like running water. Okay, well, if we buy a piece of land, there's not even going to be a well, for example, right? So what do we do? You know, you can get those big tanks that you have in your property, and then you just get a pump and you pump it through into the RV or whatever, right? So maybe that's okay because then you can have your shower and stuff too, right? So
well, I mean, you need running water to live. Okay?
Well, no, obviously, I know, right? But like that's pretty ghetto, maybe, right? So, but that's just the sacrifice that we know that we're going to have to make, you know. So, anyways, we'll figure, but it's just to have those questions.
I understand,
right?
Yeah.
So you want dogs?
Yeah.
What kind of dog?
All kinds of dogs. No, like I want.
Well, we have to be careful because of Tristan.
So probably it would be like a golden doodle because those ones are hypoallergenic.
I don't like the looks of those dogs though.
You can get ones that are not like super poodle-ish.
Yeah, because I don't like the looks of poodles at all.
No, I've seen really cute ones that are not super poodle-ish. But anyway, so that's what I would like.
I like labs. They're really.
Yeah.
They're good.
They're great dogs.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, and then probably I like the little Yorkies. They're so cute. They're so cute.
Whatever dogs we get, they can't be like these whiny dogs that just bark all the time.
No.
I want super highly trained. Like after having Fletcher, we had this service dog that was super highly trained for Tristan. But then we got him, and then Tristan ended up being allergic. His face was all puffy, and his eyes were like almost like shut. It was crazy. So we had to give him back, but. We had him he's just so highly trained. Oh God, I just love it. So I'm like, I can't have a dog.
No.
That is just out of control.
No, not happening.
Like people.
You have to be the alpha. You have to be the alpha.
Yeah, 100%. So.
Yeah. I'd also like to get a goat.
Yeah, we'll have all kinds of goats.
And a horse.
Are you a horse for what purpose? To ride? Yeah. Do you think you could just learn how to do that? Or do you think you need to take lessons?
Probably take lessons, yeah.
Yeah.
Details.
So you want to become a cowboy is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Where do you want to buy land?
I was going to ask you that. I don't know. That's a tough one. I
mean, my ultimate home or where I'd want to end up would be around the Huntsville area in Ontario.
No, I think that's where a lot of people like to end up because it's like crazy expensive.
The north end of Algonquin Park. Kind of.
South end of Algonquin Park.
I like the north end of Algonquin Park too. That place there. Maybe that's not so much Huntsville then.
That's not Huntsville. Yeah. Huntsville is the south side, right?
Is it?
Yep.
Okay.
North would be like that road towards Ottawa.
Right.
That road is on the northern border of Algonquin.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Anyways, that trip that I took when I had to drive through Algonquin to get to where I picked up the canoe. Yeah, that area.
It's beautiful.
Just phenomenal. So yeah, I guess that would be like in the Muskoka area, I guess.
It is. Yeah.
But it go as north as possible to get away from. Anyways, but place is really, really expensive. Like if you do see land that goes up around there, it's like
Not
7
cheap.
figures, right? So it's pretty ridiculous.
It's pretty crazy.
But it's so gorgeous up there.
It's
There's like
beautiful.
so many lakes.
But like, to be honest, like, I like it, but I still like the Sudbury. I like that area better. The more northern, I like it better because
I do. Killarney was amazing.
I love all the rocks, and it just it feels wilder there. I don't know.
No, that is true. If we can get something, so whereabouts? Like, is it more? Do you like more southeastern? I guess, like around Killarney-ish area.
Yeah.
Or do you like more the other way, where it's like towards Thunder Bay kind of area?
I don't know.
Because that place is pretty cool too. Ontario's beautiful. Ontario's amazing.
But it's beautiful here too.
I'm not saying it's not.
I love it here.
But I mean, it's so small compared to Ontario. There's
of course.
so many different things.
Here.
I don't know. I think here you'd probably have a better time finding. Well, I don't think the climate would be about the same in terms of trying to grow some crops outdoors.
Yeah, I think like buying land like in the valley would probably be the best bet because that's the optimal growing place here.
It's expensive there too.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's actually lots of cheap land.
There's
here,
tons of cheap land here.
But I mean, it's cheap for a reason. So I don't know how,
Yeah.
I don't think the land would be very workable for one thing.
Yeah, it just depends.
Not that we want to grow a huge farm or anything like that. I just want to be able to have
just enough that we can for ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, chickens for eggs.
Oh yeah, I mean, you could have people have chickens now. There's this guy at work. He's awesome because he's always posting like pictures of like his bees of beekeeping.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we got to get bees too. And then he has his
chickens and does all kinds of cool stuff.
Bees.
And like so he's really cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, beekeeping. I don't know how difficult that is.
I have a friend from high school. They have it. They have bees. They make their own honey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't even like honey.
Oh, I love honey. I love honey.
I don't know. Maybe how processed is honey? Like when you buy it from the store?
I don't know. I feel
like it's different than the honey. Remember we used to get honey someplace in Sudbury from some lady. It was like,
nope.
You don't remember that?
Nope.
Because Chris told me about that. I think I went with him. And like you could even buy like the honeycombs itself.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But she had like this honey. Remember, it was in a glass jar and it would actually solidify and get really hard.
I don't remember that.
Because of, really.
I know actually like a bunch of people in Sudbury, like the one homeschool mom, her parents I think made honey and she would like be selling it for her parents. And it would go fast because
But anyways, that honey was completely different. And tasted different than the one you buy at the store.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if they have to like pasteurize it or something. I think on the label it says like pasteurized. I don't know. I don't know.
But anyways, it's interesting. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
so
me too.
It's going to be an adventure, and I think it really fits in nicely to what we want to do in our lives and what this kind of nut up stuff is all about, of just trying to live the life that's going to make us the most happy and provide us with a sense of meaning and purpose. And that's one part of it, is having that daily sense of accomplishment and struggle, even of having your own property and your own land and building and working on it.
Yeah, because then you appreciate things more when you have to struggle for it, because you had to work for it. And anything that anyone's ever accomplished or been proud of in their lives, you had to struggle to get there. It's
not like, hey, I bought the new pair of Jordans.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. So it's like that for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great. And I'm sure there's going to be lots of times that we're going to talk about this whole process and what it's going to be like and how things are going to unfold.
Yep.
Yeah. So don't know where it's going to be.
Nope.
Don't know when it's going to be.
Nope.
But
we're working towards it.
We're working towards it. That's the plan. Like I said, I mean, there's cheap land here that we could even buy today, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But that's, so it could happen quick, but it's probably not, because we need to work out all kinds of stuff. But,
lots of stuff needs to happen.
We'll let everyone know what it is that we're doing.
Yeah. I'm excited.
It is exciting.
Yeah, it'll be good.
That's the hope anyways, right? So we don't make fools out of ourselves and nothing ends up happening. But
Well, but I don't even if it doesn't end up, say it doesn't end up happening, that's not the point of it, right?
Oh, no.
The point is to have something to work towards right now. It's our goal. And if stuff happens, stuff happens.
Maybe we win the lottery and it's like, okay, new plan, buy a mansion. The plan has changed. I'm going to get me a plane and just zoom across the world.
No, we're living in Jamaica.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because we've talked about all kinds of different things too. Yeah. And we love the idea of being able to travel and living in different places. Yeah. That would be really cool too. Really cool too. But we always want to have a home base. You know? Yeah. We always want to have a place that we can call home and something that
to come back to. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And if we could build that ourselves, I mean, that would be fantastic.
Yeah. Well, and that's all you've always wanted to do that since I met you, was build your own house. Yeah. So yeah. So I really feel like it fits a lot of our values and a lot of our wants. Yep. Yeah. No, yep. I'm excited. It's going to be good. And I'm glad that you have something that you can work towards. Yeah. Well, we always have. We have all this other stuff we're doing. Like everything that we've done so far, even that's been on Not Up, it's just been like, this is what we're working towards. And it's not to sound as if like I've been like living this whole life of like, I have no purpose and everything it's horrible. It's like, it's not. It's being a little over dramatic here, but this really helps to even, I don't know, like provide that extra fuel or motivation. I don't even know if that's the right way to think about it. I think it is. I think it is, because having that purpose that comes before the motivation does, right? Like you can only stay motivated for so long, but like having that drive behind you, you know, that purpose that you're working towards. Yeah, I think it's important. Yeah. And I'm loving the idea too of that, you know, you're working on land or living off land or whatever, like it's going to help like in terms of finances, that's going to be huge, right? Because all of a sudden you're not paying this huge amount of money. It's like, imagine just getting a piece of land that's like $10,000, whatever. You buy a piece of land and then you just build a house and you don't take out any loans, no mortgages, nothing. And you just build a house and everything's paid. Yep. Then you go from having to pay a mortgage or a big rent to you only got to pay like a couple $100 in property tax or whatever. Yeah. Like, you know, or maybe a little bit more, but you know what I'm saying, right? It's a lot cheaper too. So that's another thing of being financially free, which is another big thing. Towards, and then if, you know, we can make our own food, grow our own food, of course.
That's the two biggest things. I mean, combined now, our food and our shelter is like $2,200-$2,300 a month.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That is a lot of money. Like that's a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, especially when you have 2 teenagers in the house.
I know.
that eat.
Yeah. And again, you know, we're single income. I mean, we're lucky because we're not in the red or anything. So we make enough money to be able to sustain. But as we know, it's not going to, like I will have to work for forever to be able to have enough to have at least a half decent retirement. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yep. And that's enough for us. Like it's not sustainable the way that we are. So this is a good avenue. It's like, how can you cut down expenses? Food and rent. Yeah. You know, so yeah. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
It's going to be fun.
That's going to be awesome.
Anything else you want to say?
I don't think so.
I know I mean, your purpose, I mean, I think it's pretty solid, eh? I mean, you're raising the kids and homeschooling and.
But even that, right? Like that's only my purpose for a limited time.
Right.
So and that's one thing that I've thought a lot about in the last few years is making sure I have a purpose once the kids don't need me anymore. Like, I think that's really important. I think that's something as a stay-at-home mom, I don't think everybody thinks about or people think about. And I think it's really important because that's just one piece of my identity as a mother. It's a huge piece because it's everything.
But it's one that you enjoy.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Some people wouldn't enjoy homeschooling.
No, I feel like this is what I was born to do, basically, is how I feel about it. But then knowing like I need to have something beyond because the kids are, you know, teenagers already. So, so then the other purpose is, you know, trying to help people get healthy and find a way to, it's not just giving people a meal plan because it's about how do you incorporate it into your life and just make it your life and just be healthy, and being able to advocate for yourself as well with healthcare providers. Like, so that's what I'm moving towards.
You're so good at it. I've seen countless times of you talking to other people and giving them like really solid, I don't need to say advice, but just counseling them and talking to them and showing them the way forward and seeing them, implement things in their life to get healthy and to do better. It's fantastic. You do a phenomenal job, and I'm excited to see where that takes you and what you're going to do with it. Yeah. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, thanks, honey.
You're welcome.
I love you.
I know.
All right. I'm starving.
Yeah? You're good?
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
So with that, I guess we're done.
Yeah.
I guess we're done. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for listening and watching. If you're watching. Mm-hmm. And that's it.
That's it.
That's it. That's all.
Nut up this week.
We're done.
Find your purpose. Work towards your purpose. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Plan it out. Get that shit done.
Get her done.
All right.
All right.
Have a good one.
Bye.